What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of the Trout Wrangler Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Garrity. We have a super cool episode for you guys today. We have an interview with Matt Fitz, Charleston native. We get into flood tides, boats, where he started his fly fishing journey, all sorts of stuff. Just a really cool, informative interview. And then I know I said it on Tuesday. I was going to end up outlining my trip to the Saluda River, and I completely forgot to at the end of the episode. So we'll go back into that. But before we get into the interview with Matt Fitz, you want to save 10% on your Riversmith Outfitters order? Use code Wrangler10 for anything on their website. You know, the River Quivers, the Convoy series, their new 45 Convoy hauler, really cool bag, duffel, whatever you want to call it. Super, super cool. Saw it in action this weekend. Really liked it. Also, this month, if you get a Riversmith River Quiver or anything in the Convoy series, you get a free subscription to Trout Routes Premium. So go and purchase some of that stuff. Again, use code Wrangler10 and save 10% on your order. And now for the interview. What's up, guys? Like I said in the intro, we have an interview today. Got a lot to talk about. A lot about the beautiful city of Charleston. But first, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit, Matt.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all having me on. I'm Matt Fitz, local to Charleston, South Carolina, born and raised in Mount Pleasant. Been fishing here since could walk 2 or 3 years old. I love the town. I love the culture and the fishery and everything that comes with it. And try my best to leave it better than I found it. And we'll get into all that and in the upcoming talks and everything here.
So what I say to a lot of people is Charleston reminds me of a Louisiana, like New Orleans, Louisiana, like a little bit more north, you know. It's got that really good seafood. It's got like a little bit of like a Cajun twist to it at some of the restaurants and stuff. But
Yeah, for sure.
it's super cool. And then you got like your whole downtown area where it's like you can kind of get after it a little bit once the sun goes
Yeah,
down.
yeah. If you can get in there, when all the college kids are gone.
Oh yeah, dude. We went for one of my buddy's bachelor parties, and I want to say it was during the college when the college kids were in session. They are
Yeah,
everywhere, man.
dude, it's a madhouse, man. College of Charleston is insane.
Oh yeah, dude. It's like they're even all the way out at Mount Pleasant at like the Saltwater
Oh
Cowboy.
yeah,
I was
oh
like,
yeah, man. Shem Creek's always packed, man.
yeah. I'm like, dude, how are you paying for the Ubers out here to Shem Creek, dude? It's like it's insane.
Daddy's money, baby.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of it,
Yeah.
man. but
Oh yeah, a lot of it.
but where and when did your fishing journey begin, and like what led you to begin fly fishing?
Yeah. So, I've got a really good relationship with my dad. He's somebody that I look up to more than anything. And he always fished. He's definitely who got me into fishing. My I can't remember if it was my second or my third birthday. Barely walking. He got me a star spinning rod and an old pin reel, and he had I can't remember. He didn't have it at the time that he gave me the fishing rod, but I think around 5 or 6, he bought an older 19-foot Parker hole, center console, no T-top, old two-stroke Suzuki. And, we'd started doing a lot of fishing then. But even before that, even before I was born, he kind of connected with a group of guys that that knew some of the flats in the area, and he kind of started getting into it, and he started getting into wade fishing on a spinning rod, throwing old mirror lures and everything that were real hot back then, back in the late '90s, mid '90s, and he started kind of figuring out the tail and redfish, the flat stuff, the flood tides, and he'd pull me around. When I was real young, he'd pull me around on a kayak or a boogie board, and it was nothing for him in an evening to catch 6 or 7 tail and redfish on a topwater spook,
Oh,
in these flats. And it was, and I still, I don't. I'm very ADHD, and I think that plays a lot of part, like, into my, like, long term memory. And I don't have, like, a lot of memories from back then, other than, like, very specific, like, pinnacle points. And I still remember, like, being out there, like, super young, seeing my dad catch these massive 30-inch gold redfish, and it was just a different fishery back then. But definitely my dad, through kind of walking around with him in the flats, and doing the spin fishing stuff on artificial, or taking the boat out and going to the jetties or the artificial reef and doing cobia and bonnet heads and hammerheads and redfish off of the jetties, and fishing docks and creek inlets and pretty much everything in between. But it was all spin, all artificial. um, my dad really never showed any, and still really doesn't show any interest in fly fishing. And there was, I mean, it was definitely, I mean, there was definitely people doing it back then, not anywhere close to, how it is now, like in
oh
regards
yeah.
to the fly fishing and, the whole flood tide culture and the fly fishing culture and everything now. But it just really wasn't, it was a very niche thing. And I'd say it's still a niche thing now, but it's very much more popular than it used to be. Um, so, my dad, end of the day, is the one that got me into fishing, and I fished, my whole life. But around 13, 14, late middle school, going into high school, I had a couple buddies that we fished with and everything, that kind of started getting into fly fishing. And there was a local fly shop. I think it was the Charleston Fly Shop, or the Lowcountry. I think it was a Lowcountry Fly Shop. It's not there anymore. It was the only fly shop in Charleston at the time. We had Hadrils, which was kind of your inshore, offshore tackle shop and everything. But there really wasn't, like, a fly section. If there was, it was very small. But I had a buddy of mine that worked in there, and he got me set up with my first fly rod. I think it was a TFO Professional, one of the early TFO Professional rods, and an older Redington reel. And just kind of started grinding in the backyard, trying to figure out how to do a cast and everything else.
Yeah.
And, good 6, 7 months of just battling, trying to figure out this cast and everything else. And I had a little Ginu at the time. So, like, I was out there, figuring the fish out. I mean, I had them pretty dialed in, like on a spinner rod. I mean,
Yeah.
I could go out and catch them on a low tide, a mid tide, a high tide, but I'd never done it on a fly rod. And I, saw my buddies catching these fish on fly rods. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. I need to figure this out. And about 6 or 7 months later, there was a flood tide on one of the flats that my dad used to take me on when I was just a tiny little kid, and got a shot, made the cast. He ate. I set, probably trout set, but I got it in his mouth. He stayed on, and I think he was just kind of average, like 24, 25-inch redfish, which is pretty typical, flood tide redfish. You get the upper 30s or low to mid 30s and everything else, but I think he was 24, 25 inches. But, I was out there by myself. First time I'd ever caught a redfish on fly, just losing my mind out there by myself, hooting and hollering, screaming. But, yeah, I mean, it's just been up and down from there, for sure.
Oh yeah. Dude, I completely forgot about that store. It was over there in Mount Pleasant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was right off Coleman Boulevard, like
Yeah.
where the overflow parking for Shem Creek boat ramp is now. It
Yeah.
was right there.
I
Yeah,
know what you're
I think
talking
it's like
about.
I don't know what it is now. It's some kind of. It's not the Mexican restaurant. It's like right next to the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. There's like there's a what's that restaurant called? It's a breakfast restaurant. If we're thinking of the same place. I know
Oh,
there's
you're
like
talking across. You're talking across the. It's not across the street. It's across the. I forget the name of that road, but if Coleman Boulevard is, your main street, you take a right, you go in that shopping center, and it's directly across the sides. It's like the only thing there by itself.
Yeah,
That little
I know.
breakfast place. I
I
forget
know
what
what
it's
you're talking
called.
about. Was it the Charleston
Yeah.
Angler? It
I
was.
think it was the Lowcountry Fly Shop.
Yeah, they
I'm
had the.
pretty sure it was Lowcountry Fly
Yeah,
Shop.
that's what it was. There were two of them around there.
Yeah. We have the Charleston Fly, which is, the tournament, but which got started by the Lowcountry Fly Shop. And it used to be the Redfish Cup, hosted by Badfish for, I think, 2 years. And then it went to Hadrill's for a year, and now Rivers and Glen has it.
I got you. Hey, so like,
Yeah.
speaking of flood tides, dude, most guys I've heard are saying that the flood tides are at night right now. I don't know if I was supposed to out that, but
No, I mean, anybody that has a tide chart can figure it out,
yeah,
But, yeah, normally this time of year, we're still kind of early. I mean, fish have been tailing for 2.5, 3 months, give or take how long you've been looking. But we're kind of in the thick of it right now, but it's still kind of early. Like we're not getting a whole lot of, like the 7+ foot tides yet. That'll come August, September, October. But this time of year, depending on where you're fishing, if you're fishing, north, you're fishing Folly. If you're fishing kind of, mid of it, fishing the Wando, intercoastal, you'll have a different kind of tide swing. But seeing a lot of 6.8s, 6.9s. I think we've had a few 7s. But yeah, most of them are falling in the evenings, and that's pretty typical for this time of year. You'll have some mornings where you'll have like a 5.8 to a 6.2 when you can get out and throw some gurglers, and you can definitely get on some fish in the morning. But most of our flood tides this time of year, or high tides that are fishable in the flats, are going to be in the evening times.
yeah. You ever get the itch to go and strap on a headlamp and go out there and get them?
Dude, I know people that have done it. I have never done it. It seems like, I mean, I know it's possible. It seems like from doing it in the daylight, like it seems impossible to do it like with a headlamp on.
Dude,
But I mean, maybe these headlights are 3,000 lumens. I don't know. But I've had some buddies that have done it and have had success with it. Not exactly a great stage of life to try to be doing that at
yeah,
9-10 o'clock with a newborn child in the
that's what I
house.
was
Not
thinking.
newborn at this point, but a young baby at the house, and wife trying to take care and everything. But
Yeah,
I definitely know some guys that have done it, have had success. I never have personally done it, but
dude, I'd be afraid I'd step on something.
I mean, what are you going to step on at night that you wouldn't step on during the day? I mean, I've
True.
never accidentally stepped on an alligator in the flat. You know what I mean? I've
Yeah,
seen them there, but I've never accidentally just walked up on one. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And if you got a headlamp on, the fear of an alligator, you're going to see its eyes
Oh
before
yeah.
anything. So
Oh yeah. But so with the influx of people moving into Charleston, we kind of hit at this earlier, and fly fishing become more and more popular every day. It seems like. Have you felt
yeah,
or
man.
seen the fishery being impacted by all that growth of people moving to Charleston and that popularity in fly fishing growing?
I'm definitely seeing more and more people in spots that I didn't used to see them. Even before I was fly fishing, like just flats that I used to throw spin rods and artificial for tail and redfish. I'm definitely seeing more and more people pop up, in spots that I didn't used to see people. More and more people, trailer and skiffs. Um, has fly fishing specifically had an impact on the fishery? I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say no. I don't think that a fly rod, to a point. I mean, if we're talking, if it ever got to a very extreme point to where it's just like everybody put their spinning rods down and everybody's fly fishing, okay, maybe. But I think it's very hard to imagine a fishery being affected by a rod and reel.
Right.
Now, it all comes down to conservation and people's willingness to do what's right. And, whether you're going to keep fish or not, if you are going to keep fish, like follow the laws, 2 per person, follow the size limits. I don't keep redfish. That's just something I used to way back in the day. And I kind of back in the day saw our red fishery decline around like 2010-ish. It took a big dip. We had some pretty bad winter storms that killed off a lot of trout and redfish. I don't know if it was only due to that or if it was an angler an angler thing or if it was a commercial fishery thing. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but during that time we saw a big dip, and for 3 or 4 years we definitely struggled for a while, and it's definitely started to come back for sure. But it's definitely not what it used to be like in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, when you could go out on any given day on a 6'5" high tide and easily see 20 tails.
Yeah.
And we'll still do that from time to time. I mean, there's been plenty of times that I'll go out and I'll see tons of tails. Whether you catch 3 or 4, or just one, it's a different story. But I don't think that the growing sport of fly fishing in the Charleston area is affecting the population of redfish.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, see, I like what you were saying about people like keeping fish. I was talking to the historic coast outfitters in St. Augustine. I was talking
Right,
to
right.
them last week, and he was like, "Dude, I can see." He's like, "I quit keeping redfish for the same reason." He's like, "You could have a school like 40 reds." He's like, every day you come back to them and you're keeping it, you can see them just dwindle off from people
Yeah.
keeping them. It's
And
crazy.
I genuinely believe that that's not. I'm sure you have a select few of people that are fly fishing that are keeping
Oh yeah,
redfish, but I respectfully believe that most people that are fly fishing have a certain conservative mindset to
I
them. That's why
agree.
they are fishing with a fly rod and not just live bait or artificial spinning rod. There's a certain challenge to it that I think comes along with having whether you're very conservation minded, for the ecosystem and the environment, or just slightly. If you're picking up a fly rod, you have some sort of conservation mindset of
Right.
protecting the fishery, and I believe that. So I mean,
Yeah.
what you were talking about with this guy saying, he'd go out and see a school of 40 redfish, and then a couple weeks later he'd go back and that school is down to 35 or 30. I doubt that that's due to
Fly
fly
fishermen.
fishermen.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I
agree.
mean, I have a feeling that's live bait, popping cork charters out there, just
Way
catching
over there.
20 or 30 fish with 6 clients on the boat, and they can keep 12 fish.
Yeah. Yeah. I see like all
And
like
I could be wrong, but
I
that's what I think.
I frequently compare fly fishing to bow hunting. I don't know if you
Of
deer hunt or
course,
anything.
it's a
It's
very very easy comparison.
super. It's like you see it with people like with rifles a lot, like the whole
Yeah,
"if brown it's down" theory, and it's like
or even dog hunters.
yeah, true.
Yeah,
It's the same
another
thing.
extreme.
Oh yeah, and
I always relate. You can kind of tie the top three into each other when it comes to hunting and fishing. Dog hunters, live bait. Rifle hunters, artificial. Bow
yeah.
hunters, fly fishermen.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they directly correlate.
Oh
Live
yeah.
bait, catch as many fish as humanly possible, fill the cooler as much as we can, kill as many deer as we can. If it's brown, it's down. Rifle, you're still kind of hunting. It's slightly fair. You're hunting over a feeder. You shoot one. Bow hunting, you're hunting over a feeder, but it's more caveman style.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not just I got a bullet. I've got an arrow that I've got to send through this deer.
Yeah.
So
Dude, that's the last 2 seasons I think, dude, I've had it where I'm like I'm sitting there, I'm not killing a deer. I've killed like 2 does my last 2 seasons because it's just that tough.
yeah,
It's
it's so much
crazy.
more rewarding though with the bow.
Oh yeah, it is 100%, 100%.
Yeah, even if it's a doe.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
I love it, dude. Like I became like uber obsessed with bow hunting when I was in like high school, and I was like,
Yeah, I was too. I was definitely in it, and it pretty honestly probably more than I was fly fishing for a little while, for a couple years, was bow hunting, and had some success. Not as much success as I've had, staying true to fly fishing, but
yeah,
definitely had a little bit of success. But I definitely had that itch for a couple years.
dude, dude. When it's itchy, it is itchy. Dude, like
Yeah, it's tough to shake.
it's tough to shake off, dude. It's like I'll bow hunt in like the fall. I have a feeling this year it's like it's gonna kind of fall the wayside some a little bit, but it's like I'm still gonna get that just crazy itch to
Yeah,
go. So it's
yeah.
like it's tough. But was there a particular moment that sparked your obsession of chasing reds in Charleston?
I mean, it's always going to go back to my dad.
Yeah,
My dad, in so many ways, has you know shaped me, made me into the person that I am, through things that he's taught me, experiences that he's shown me. So red fishing at the end of the day is always going to come back to early memories of me and my dad fishing. And, whether I'm fishing or he's pulling me, around on a kayak or a boogie board and he's wading a flat, catching redfish on, topwater spooks and mirror lures, it's always going to come back to those early memories. And I think the point that kind of turned it from, man, this is really fun to, oh God, I can't get enough of this, was that first red on fly.
Yeah.
For sure. Because, there was, I had a little Ginu at the time, a little 9.9, and, I could go out and I could spend all day and, I could catch tons of redfish, whether fishing docks or, pulling a flat and throwing, artificial shrimp or whatever else. And, you could catch them and it's fun. I'm never going to, this is another thing. Fly fishing is a tool.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, fly fishing is a tool. I love it more than any other kind of fishing. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to dog somebody for picking up a spinning rod and catching a redfish on a spinning rod.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun. Everybody has their thing. The biggest thing at the end of the day for me is respecting the fishery and respecting the ecosystem, and doing what's right. Release Over 20, I think, has a great thing going for them, trying to put out there to release fish release under 20, release all fish under 20, whether that's trout, redfish, flounder, whatever else. So at the end of the day, I think that's what's important, is the mindset of protecting the ecosystem and protecting the fishery.
I completely agree, dude. That release under 20, dude, there's nothing better than that. It's like,
yeah, there's the stuff that they come out with, and the data and the facts that they come out with, and the real, research that they're doing into the fisheries, across, different states and everything. It's something to pay attention to. They're not just some willy-nilly, putting out random facts that they're just pulling off the internet. I believe that they're putting in true research. They're talking to guides. They're getting the data, and they're doing a good thing. There's no reason that we should be keeping redfish below breeding size.
Right.
Give the fish a chance to breed. If they're to that point, then let's help our fishery and let them breed and make more fish.
100%, dude. 100%. Let's talk boats real quick. I almost said that really weird right there, but I know from
everybody always wants to talk about boats.
Oh, dude, I love
me.
boats. It's one of those things. It's like it gets to a point where I'm like, dude, I just like looking at them and like figuring out the intricacies of all of them.
Oh yeah.
So I know from your Instagram, you've owned quite a few.
I've had a lot of boats, a lot of skiffs, and a lot of boats in general, for sure.
Yeah, dude. What's been your favorite so far? And what's the favorite part of your new Beavertail? Everybody I know that's in a Beavertail loves it.
Hands down, Beavertail Mosquito has been my favorite skiff I've ever owned, like no question. And even talking about boats that I haven't owned that I've been in, there's a lot of boats that I've been in where I've been like, man, this boat runs really good. I love this, and this about it. I wish my Beavertail did this and this and this, but at the end of the day, the Beavertail Mosquito is the side console, the F70, the way that I have it set up. It's perfect for the Lowcountry. It's perfect for what I do. The extreme sharp entry in the Carolina flare style of design at the front of the boat it's just incredible, the fact that I can tab down 2 clicks and I can get that sharp entry down, and I can run through 1 or 2 footers and stay dry. Not talking about a crosswind. I don't want to talk about crosswinds and skiffs, because if you're in a skiff and you're running a crosswind in 1 to 2 footers, you're getting wet. I don't want to hear anybody say anything different, because it's just true. You're going to get wet in a bay boat or an offshore boat if the crosswind is strong enough. But the Beavertail has just been a boat that is so versatile. It drafts 5 to 6 inches. It pulls very, very easily, and I can take it through things that I need to do. Rough waters, probably rough waters that I don't need to be in, and it's performed extremely well. So definitely the Beavertail for sure.
Yeah, dude. Literally, like everybody I talk to that has a Beavertail, they're like, dude, I freaking love this boat.
And it's really, there's so many points where you're like, man, I can't believe people aren't buying more of them. I mean, you're talking about the comfortability, the dryness, how well it takes waves, and the draft. And I'm just talking about mosquito specifically. And you can get into one sub 50 grand, brand new,
Yeah.
which is very tough to do in the skiff market these days. I mean,
Oh
we're
yeah.
talking Mavericks are 80, 90 grand. Um, we're not even going to talk about Chitums because that's not in anybody's category, but
Oh yeah.
but I mean, yeah, I mean, even Hell's Bays, I mean, they're pushing, with options, 100 grand. Um, you've got boats like custom builders like Drake, which I would love to own a Drake one day, but I mean, we're talking 100 grand, 110 grand. Um, and there's other skiff builders out there that are doing 30 grand, sub 30, mid 40s. But for the money, I haven't found a boat that performs as well as the Mosquito.
Yeah, dude. I completely agree with that, dude. He's like you're saying, dude. You can get into one at a pretty good price. Or, dude, in
Mm-hmm.
the boat market as a whole, it's hard to get into a boat that
It's tough.
at that price range. Dude, I think,
Yeah.
dude, those Drakes. I think one of my buddies who I went to high school with, who lived down in Charleston for a little bit, was like one of like the first, like, had to have been like one of the first like 5 people to be in a Drake.
Yeah, I think that they were, I want to say around 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
We're starting to make the first boats. It could be maybe a little bit earlier than that, but yeah, Drake. Like if I put Drake and Chittum kind of like on a similar
Right.
kind of platform. Carbon boats. Very very pricey. Um, I would get a Drake every day. It's
Yeah, dude.
just that's definitely my dream boat. I love that they're slightly local. But just seeing those boats on the water, they are. I haven't seen a skiff that looks as good as a Drake.
Damn. Dude, yeah, like my buddy, you might know him, Jackson Bland.
Jackson Bland. That name sounds really familiar.
He's big in with the free fly guys.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he guides in Montana, and then he was guiding up in Montana, and then spending his summers in Charleston.
Right.
He had
Right.
one. I remember seeing it for the first time, and I was like, dude, that is a beautiful boat.
Yeah, man. Their attention to detail and their carbon inlays and their finishing and everything and just the lines of the boat are just they're beautiful. I mean, they are. If you've got the money, they're worth every penny. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yeah.
they're beautiful.
I think Floyd's starting to sneak into that kind of category over there too now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
So
heard good things about Floyd's. I know some guys that run Floyd's that have nothing but good things to say about them. They have that very brute front end with that sharp entry that I think
yeah,
performs really well for those guys. And they seem to be built pretty well. At the end of the day, I mean, fit and finish is for you to look at, and then performance is for your clients
yeah.
and people else on the boat, and you how well the boat rides and whether you're getting wet or getting beat up and everything else. But
And so I think I've seen I think was it your last two boats or maybe more were side consoles.
so I've had let's see cycle. So I had we're talking skiffs. I had a Lake and Bay
Oh man,
Boca 20 with a 300 on the back. That was just kind of a fun phase,
yeah,
80, mid 80 mile an hour boat. Not very fishable unless you're doing like open, like great boat for Florida. Like if you're
oh
going to
yeah,
do open water tarpon fishing or, fishing, banks and beachside stuff, great. But I mean, I'm not going to try and put a 20-foot Boca in a flat and try and pull it with a 300 on the back. Like it's
yeah.
just not. It was super fun to have, but that was a side console boat. I sold the Lake and Bay, and I found I just always have loved. I know the reputation behind them, but I've always loved the Pathfinder 17 Ts and the 15
Yeah.
Ts, and just always wanted to do one, in my opinion, better than anybody else has ever done one, like completely from the ground up. And I bought one down in Florida. It had a two-stroke 50 on the back of it. Stringers had already been redone, floor had already been redone, but it was in really rough shape. I mean, wiring outside cosmetically, transom needed a complete new transom. It needed a lot of stuff, but I was working at Scout Boats at the time and got pretty close to some of the fiberglass and paint guys there who helped me kind of work through all the stuff and actually did a lot of the work for me. But I stripped that boat completely. I put a brand new F70 on it, had the pole and platform redone and powder coated, had the whole boat gel coated, new all grip. I rewired the boat myself, redid the trailer. It was a beautiful boat, and I mean, just like from it sitting in the water, sitting on the trailer, I mean, it was beautiful. Um, but it's 17T. Their reputation precedes them. It's like, in my mind, it's like driving a drift car. It does not dip. Whatever, if you turn the wheel as hard right or hard left as you want to, it does not dip to the left or the right. It just, the back end slides.
Oh,
And, in Texas, maybe that's fine. You're fishing wide, or you're running wide open flats, and you don't really need to make these sharp dig turns like we do in tight, channel creeks.
right.
And it runs extremely shallow. I mean, it would probably run in like 2 inches of water,
Holy crap.
but just not ideal for here. You can't really. You almost have to turn the boat in creeks with the trim tabs on plane. Like,
Yeah.
you almost have to turn to the right and then tab down to the right to get the boat to turn right.
Yeah, dude.
But it was one of those things that I knew I was just going to redo it. I really wanted, like, the memories of redoing the boat and pictures and everything else. But I ended up selling it. It was a side console, and then the only other side console that I had is the Beavertail that I have
Yeah.
now.
Dude, it's that tail slide with the coming out, that is not a good feeling either.
It is sketchy.
It's so scary. Dude,
It is very sketchy.
it used to happen in my Skeeter bass boat all the time, dude. I
You're
feel
like, is this
that.
thing going to catch on the right side? Am I going to
Yeah, I'm
flip?
like, please catch, please catch. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm running like channel swings, and I'm feeling it. I'm like, oh, it's about to go.
It
It's about
starts
to
to
go.
hop a little on the
Yeah, it
side.
starts to hop. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like white
Oh, yeah.
knuckling the steering wheel.
It's not a fun feeling.
Not a fun feeling at all. It's like,
No.
is that kind of just how it worked out with your side consoles, or was there like a method behind that?
So, I mean, I guess my first side console, being the Lake and Bay, wasn't my first choice. It's just kind of in that market when you're looking for a Lake and Bay, you just kind of, when they pop up, like, if you're ready to get one, like, if
You gotta hop
the
on
gas
it.
tanks have been redone, the floor is solid, and the transom's good, you better hop on it and just do it if the money's
Yeah,
right. And it just happened to be a side console. And I guess I just got kind of used to riding around in a side console. I liked the way that it opened up the cockpit and you could throw bean bags, in the floor and fit more people comfortably and not have people just sitting on the deck.
yeah,
You could throw more gear in it. I didn't love the natural list, by yourself, just sitting on, the right side of the boat, and how
yeah,
the boat would sit at idle or, not moving is kind of a weird feeling. Um, but once you get used to it, I mean, and once you get on plane, I mean, it completely goes away.
oh
But
yeah,
I think having those two definitely made a deciding factor in doing a side console in the Beavertail. And I definitely don't regret it whatsoever. It's definitely better for, taking the family to the beach. You can throw gear in there. You can throw your chairs, your coolers, your floaties and everything else, cooler with all your drinks. And you're not feeling like you're having to step over stuff, like
yeah,
around a center console or banging your foot on the console. So I'll always recommend a side console to people that can get over the little list
yeah,
situation. If it's just going to drive you nuts, then I wouldn't get one because it's going to drive you nuts.
yeah. But
But it goes away once you get on plane.
oh yeah. Dude, I went through that Lake and Bay phase too. Like I was living in Florida for 2 years, and I was going to Crystal River a lot. And you'd
Oh yeah,
see them.
man, the Alva runs,
Yeah, dude. I'd see one. I'd be like, damn, I want a Lake and Bay so bad.
dude. They're so. I mean, like, to this day, I'm like, I'll have another one day. Like, there's something about it that's, dude. When you get up, I mean, it's the same thing with a bass boat. I mean, when you get that
Yeah,
boat and you feel it lift up and you hit that pad, and you're running 70, 80 miles an hour. it's just, I mean, it
It's
is,
different.
it's not catching a redfish on fly, but man, it feels good.
Oh yeah, dude,
Yeah,
100%. Dude, and I think, dude, did Big O boats buy out a bunch
it's the
too?
same. It's the same hole. It's just a
That's what I
different
thought.
cap.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
it's. I think they bought a bunch of those whole molds.
Yeah, there's so many owners back in the day for Lake and Bay. Wiley was the original guy. Everybody, if you're looking at a Lake and Bay, everybody's like, if you can find a in a mid '80s, late '80s to early 2000s, it was going to be a Wiley boat. That's going to be the best built hull. Redo it, but it's going to be the best running surface. Everything else. And I'm pretty sure Wiley was the one who started yellowfin boats. But then it sold off Lake and Bay two or three times, I think now, and it's just not the same. I mean, just with a
Right.
lot of boats that were really awesome back in the day. I mean, you're talking Makos and Seacrafts and all the, Triton holes and everything else that were so good back in the day.
Yeah,
They're
dude.
just kind of either don't exist or just, like Mako. Like Mako makes, kind of crap boats now, and they
Yeah,
used to
dude.
make a pretty awesome offshore boat.
Yeah, dude.
So,
Those things used to be just all like battle wagons. Those old Makos.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, it
Just
was
like the
insane.
Parkers.
Yeah, dude. It was the
Yeah.
park. That's why every game warden had a Parker. It's just
Yeah.
because it would withstand anything. But
Yeah. You can beat the crap out of it.
yeah, you beat the piss out of them. But
Yeah.
you had a Kaio too. Well,
I did. I had a Kaio. I had a 180. 2019 with a 115 Pro XS. Um, I shouldn't have bought the boat in the first place. It was local, and I had just sold. I had bought a Sportsman center console. Was trying to do a little bit more off the beach stuff. For the big redfish. Was trying to get a little bit something a little bit more comfortable where I could do that more consistently. Run to the reef. Do some offshore days. Just trying to do something different for a time period, and then also like just having something we could take friends out on.
yeah.
So I had a 24-foot Sportsman for a little while, and I sold it and knew that I wanted to get back into a flats boat. That's my niche. Stick to it. It's what I love. Don't really need anything different. And it popped up locally. And just like we were talking about earlier, I mean, from seeing the media stuff that Kaio puts out, and the videos and the pictures and everything else, I mean, they look awesome. Like
Oh,
whoever's doing their media is doing a fantastic
oh
job.
yeah.
I mean, very. I would put them up against any other skiff builder right now in regards to media. They're putting out some of the coolest videos of their skiffs.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of what drove me to it. I mean, like back when they started doing them, when I didn't have a boat, I was like, man, I'd love to have a Kaio one day. And they were doing crazy colors and just cool stuff that not everybody
Yeah.
was doing. And when it popped up, kind of all those things kind of came back, and I was like, oh man, Kaio, I wanted those for a long time. And I ran the boat. I think I kind of lied to myself during the test ride and was like, oh yeah, this is
This
exactly
is
what I
it.
want. Bought it. The fit and finish is incredible. Very, very good. They build quality wise, they build a fantastic boat. Their finishing is great. Their attention to detail, the gutters on their lids, deep. They drain well. The cockpit drains well. The fit and finish of the console to the deck mold, everything seats very well. Um, Symmetry wise, everything lines up. I mean, even down to the rub rails, you'll see a lot of manufacturers that have crooked rub rails,
Oh yeah.
which is just, you're just not taking as much time as you should. All that stuff was great. No complaints in regards to the cosmetics and the fit and finish and everything else. The boat just didn't perform like I wanted it to. It slid, not nearly as bad as like a 17T. And mine was a 15-degree model, so it was the more aggressive V towards the back,
Uh-huh.
which is most of the 15 degrees you're going to have a 90 or a 115 on. The draft was more true to like 11 or 12 inches. It was very difficult to pull. It wasn't the boat for what I was trying to do.
Right.
It didn't handle the chop very well. If you look at the front end of a Kaio, it doesn't have a sharp entry. It's kind of rounded, almost like like you cut a football in half and then put it on the bow. And like I said, no hate to anybody that has a kayak or those guys over at kayak. They're great guys. It just wasn't the boat for me. I really needed a boat that when I turned it to the right, I wanted it to the right side hold to be completely underwater. Like I wanted it to turn and not slide. And I needed a boat that would cross open water a little bit better, keep me dry, keep me a little bit more comfortable, and a boat that realistically would draft 5 to 6 inches. I found myself not being able to get into places that I really wanted to get in with a kayak, just in regards to the draft and sometimes the beam. It's a pretty wide boat, about the length and width of like an 18 HPX Maverick. And so it just wasn't the boat for me. Sold it. The guy that I sold it to is down in Florida. He does a lot of open water tarpon fishing and absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
So, it's just wasn't the boat for my style of fishing.
I got you. So this is pretty. You can be as long as you want with this question here. What's one thing you would tell beginner fishermen or boaters in the Charleston area, whether it's something to like look out for on large shallow areas, or something to kind of like keep them off the qualified captain's Instagram page?
Steer clear of Crab Island out of Shim Creek. If you're gonna go to Shim Creek, don't make the cut. Go all the way around. Follow the channel markers.
Oh yeah.
Don't be a hero and try and make it, because you probably won't.
And so it's you recently had a son too. How's fatherhood been treating you? And you looking forward to have a all-time polling platform guy here in a little bit?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, my son Wilder, he turns 6 months this week. He's big, man. He's a big boy. He's definitely in the higher percentile for height and weight and everything else. He's a big boy, but he's definitely ahead of his curve. He's already sitting up on his own, and from like early on could hold his head up really well. But yeah, man, I mean he's great. We're dealing with the different ups and downs of different stages of having a baby. Thinking he's teething and he's not teething. Why is he not sleeping through the night when he was sleeping through the night? It's so up and down. We just kind of got to take it, as it comes, and figure it out. So, but yeah, man, fatherhood is crazy. Everybody that I was talking to, before I had a kid was like, man, it changes everything. And I was like, oh no, man, it's not, no, it's not going to change anything. I'll still get, go fishing whenever I want. I fish 2-3 days on the weekend. That'll be fine. Madison's got it. My wife's got it. It'll be fine. It's just not, it's not the case.
Yeah.
You really gotta, when you get your days, you gotta pick your days and fish hard, because that it's, you don't. I'm not going to just get to go out next weekend for 2 days, So
pray the wind.
But no, it's super rewarding. I mean, it's a complete blessing to be able to be a father to him and see him, go through different stages and learn new things every day. And yeah, I'm definitely excited for him to be, kind of that 2 to 3 year when I'm like, yeah, I can just throw him in the truck and we can go out on the boat and he can figure out poling or, figure out casting, whether he falls off the boat or not, he'll live, he'll be all right.
Just throw on a life jacket. He'll be good.
Yeah. My wife will probably kill me if she hears this, but
So you know what? It's character. Fall off the boat with
it's character.
Yeah, builds character.
Sink or
man.
swim.
Yeah,
sink or swim. Come on.
So what's your Mount Rushmore of redfish flies?
Ooh, my first redfish was caught on Redfish Crack, which probably is going to be like industry wide. If you want to catch redfish, throw Redfish Crack. A little bit of brown and some gold in it. I'll say the past couple years, just working with, give a shout out to Chris Parrott at Focus Fly Company. He's a local fly tyer. He ties what used to be just kind of a no-name guide fly, black and purple slider, with a little bit of, it kind of changes every batch that I get, whether he's got like a little bit of pink thrown in there at the head or a little bit of like light green, or sometimes the eyes are like a light green or a lime or a pink, but it's a black and purple slider that was kind of just a no-name guide fly that he tied for a long time. And I don't know. I was catching a bunch of fish on it and caught this stud of it was a 34 or 35 inch redfish on fly. Sent him a picture of it, and he just loved it and loved the picture, and you could see the fly right in the corner of his mouth, and the sun was hitting it perfect. He was like, "Man, I'm gonna name this fly after you. This is now gonna be the Fitz Fiddler." And I was
Oh,
like,
that's
"Oh
awesome.
my god!" I was like, "You gonna name a fly after me?" I was like, "Geez," I was like, "I don't think I'm that good at fly fishing," but no, I mean it's just kind of an honor for him to feel like he just loved the pictures enough and seeing the fish and the pictures I took with the fly in the mouth and the fish that I was catching that he wanted to name it after me. And it's kind of cliche. It was like, oh, my fly is the epitome. That's the one that I like the most. But at the end of the day, I catch the most fish on that fly.
Yeah,
It's now called the Fitz Slider, and you can get it from Focus Fly on his website.
I'm about
But
to order some.
they're gas, dude.
I'm about to order some because I'm gonna be down
Yeah.
there. I'm gonna be down in Charleston. I want to say the weekend of the 22nd. I'm going out with a couple
Okay.
of my buddies,
Nice.
and
He ties very, very good flies. I've caught 13, 14 fish on one of his flies,
oh my
and
gosh,
it's still in my box.
holy cow, that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
So he ties a really good fly.
Heck yeah. What's your coolest fishing story so far?
Oh God, there's so many. I feel like people ask me this all the time, and I'm like, should I say this, this, this? Coolest fishing story. I want to go back to my first red.
Yeah.
I mean, that just like that's the most significant. That's the first one that comes into my mind. Was it the biggest fish? No. Was there anybody else there with me to see it and freak out with me? No. But I think at the end of the day, it's probably my first red,
Yeah.
24, 25 inch red at 14 in high school, waiting by myself. No extra flies, no extra leaders. No cutters, no nothing. Just one fly rod, one fly, single tippet, and wading boots.
That's about as simplistic as it gets right there.
Yeah,
I
made it
wish I,
happen, and that's what I always go back to is that one fish.
oh
I can
yeah.
picture it like it was yesterday.
Dude, I wish I could go back there sometimes, like where I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna grab like a box of poppers and just
It's not
go
that
out.
serious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that serious. It's like it's fish, you know?
Now I catch myself. I'm like, oh, I need to bring a 7 weight. I need to bring an 8 weight. Oh, what if I need to bring my 9 weight? What if we run into jacks? I probably should throw the 12 weight in the boat.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I was the same way. I'm like, I wish we could just go back and just throw a 7 or an 8 in the boat and handful of flies and rock on.
Oh yeah. But this is how I end every episode is I have a playlist on Spotify that
Right?
I ask for your 5 favorite fishing songs.
Oh gosh, I didn't do my homework.
Oh, you're good.
All right, I could probably come up with some real quick. Um, One of my favorite songs that I'm going to say produce redfish, floaters to tailors, is Gardenia by Stick Figure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It seems like every single time we're seeing a bunch of floaters, you start playing Gardenia by Stick Figures and they start tailing.
It's a great song.
Um, I'm a big reggae guy
Me too.
in the flats. Um, you probably already have it on there, but Sun is Shining by Bob Marley.
I actually don't have that one yet.
Great song. Thirdly, can't leave out my boy Young Dolph.
Oh yeah.
On the River.
I mess with that.
Gotta throw that in there. Gotta get when the when the vibes are low, you gotta bring it back up.
Oh yeah. I like that one. I miss Young Dolph every day.
I know, man. And number 4, this is had a good day, and we're taking it back to the ramp. Man in a Box by Alice in Chains.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
I gotta come up with one more. Let's see. I'm very country to reggae to rap to rock and roll, like everything in between. If it's a good song, I'm gonna play it. I don't
That's
really
how I
care.
am too. Do
Oh man,
you look at this playlist and you'll be like, dude, what is this? It's
dude, you want to I haven't named my 5th one yet, but you want a very, very off the wall but fantastic playlist. Have you ever been to Heavy's in downtown Charleston, the burger place that used to be Tattooed Moose?
Not yet.
Dude, their playlists, like every single time we go in there, we're like, this music is the best music we've ever heard. And I eventually was like, yo, can I please just get the playlist? And they were like, yeah. And I think it's literally called Heavies on Spotify.
About to look
Or
it up.
Heavy, it's called Heavy Listening. Awesome playlist. So good.
This has to be it
Oh
right here.
man, my fifth one.
Oh, he's got a ton of Jerry Garcia band on here.
Oh, dude, like his playlist is insane.
Damn, dude, he's got Jerry Garcia band songs I haven't even heard before, and I've listened
Dude,
to a
I'm telling you,
bunch of that.
his playlist is like so good. Like every time I listen to it, I'm like, I've never heard this before. How have I never heard this before?
Damn.
Uh, I'm gonna go. My fifth is definitely gonna be Deftones. I'm between Entombed or Beware. I'm gonna go Entombed on my fifth song by Deftones.
Heck yeah. Let's see.
Got a little reggae, got a little rock and roll, got a little rap.
Oh yeah, that's all of it right there.
That's gonna be the vibe on my skiff.
Oh yeah, dude, that's how I am too. Dude, I'll even play Sabrina Carpenter if it's sounding good that these
Hey,
days.
bring out some Justin Bieber, man. You know,
Oh
whatever
yeah.
gets the fish eaten.
That new album kind of went hard. I won't even lie. I wasn't really a big Justin Bieber guy when I was younger, but that
I haven't heard it yet, but
it's pretty good. I won't even lie. I'll give you my five I had right here. Um,
all right,
Blue Sky, Allman Brothers Band.
good song.
Traveler, Chris Stapleton.
Mm-hmm.
Hurricane, the Band of Heathens.
Haven't heard that one.
That's a great song, dude. Oof. You might know it when you hear it. And then Come Monday, Jimmy Buffett. And
Oh,
then
nice.
Into the Mystic, Van Morrison.
Oh, Into the Mystic, fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Probably the best of the five.
I'll shoot you over this playlist, dude. It goes from like one extreme to the next so quick.
That's the same way all my playlists are. So,
Yeah, dude. But that's all I got for you, man. Are there any last thanks or plugs you want to shout out?
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to come across somebody that's got like sponsors or anything, but I just want to probably shout out just a couple companies that just kind of send stuff my way, help me out. Steven and Brandon at Shades of Charleston, Cordina Eyewear. Those guys are great. They make a really, really high quality sunglasses. Used to always wear Kosas and Smiths, and when I tried their low lights, that's all I wear, Cordina sunglasses now. The guys over at Free Fly, they always hook me up with their pro discount and everything else, and that's kind of all I wear on the water. Beavertail Skiffs at the end of the day. Harry and Ann over there at the factory, great, great, great people. Always willing to help you out and answer your questions. Super easy to work with when you're building a boat. And Loco, Adam, I think you had him on
Yeah.
here recently. Adam Johnson, great guy, man. I was throwing, a lot of rods that I loved. I had a Scott Sector, I had a Sage R8, a lot of rods that I really, really loved, and then threw his Marsh MX 8 weight and just fell in love. Sold my Sector, still have my R8, but it's if there's going to be one rod on my boat, it's going to be his 7 weight MX. I have it on my boat every single time.
Oh yeah.
He makes a great rod, veteran owned, one by one, hand built in America. Don't feel like you're given to just some big company. So
Right.
love Adam over at Loco Rods. And Chris Parrott at Focus Fly. Y'all check out Chris Parrott Focus Fly Company. Tie some killer flies. Yeah, man. All 5, 6 of those people, brands, really respect
Oh yeah.
them, and they help me out a lot. Be able to do what I do every day. So appreciate all of them.
Do you get the new South Fork God pants from Free Fly yet?
I'm about to order them.
Dude, I'm wearing them right now. They're fantastic.
So the latitudes have always been my favorite. The breeze feels more like sweat panty to me, and I don't
Yeah.
like the breeze. They also just don't fit me right. Are the new ones? Do they feel kind of like more like the latitudes, like they're a little tighter fit around the ankles and
Yeah, so
more true to size?
they're not as like tight around a little bit tight around the ankles. I wear 34,
Right.
32. Dude, but like
Okay.
the fit of them is
I like that they actually have like I wear 32, 32. I like that you can actually get like a specific size, not just
Yeah,
like a small, medium, or large.
yeah, and that's like my breeze pants. I wear a large in the breeze pants. I like how on their other pants, like I think you could do it with the Tobo Grid pants too, where it's like you get an actual
Yeah,
size, and
yeah.
I like that,
I
dude.
think I think I've gotten mediums in the breeze pants, and they seem like I'm wearing 36 longs. Like they cup around my heels, and
Yeah,
like love free fly, but like the breeze just does not do it to me. So yeah, I'm excited to try those new
dude,
pants
yeah,
for
they're
sure.
awesome, dude. They feel so good. I got mine yesterday, and dude, it's like, dude, they're awesome. The front pockets are pretty cool too, which
Yeah, they seem a lot like I have these I work outside. I'm an electrician and I work outside pretty much every day. So like trying to wear anything lightweight as I can. Like I wear all my work shirts are free fly. I think Elevate lightweight tees, just blank t-shirts, and then I have a pair of Orvis. I forget the name of the Orvis pants, but they've got like the nice front pockets and everything, and like the stretch waistband, and they're super lightweight. They're great outside, like they block me from the heat and everything, and I don't sweat like crazy.
yeah, dude. But that's all I got for you, brother. That was our interview with Matt Fitz. Just a really cool guy. Really, really knowledgeable about that Charleston area when it comes to fly fishing or just fishing in general. Just a really, really cool episode. Very, like I said, very informative. Super nice guy. Definitely gonna want to have him on another time. And you know, just thank you guys for listening. Um, and big thank you to Matt for coming on. Like I said in the intro, I forgot to recap my trip to the Saluda River on Saturday. So here it is. We went to the Saluda River, got there about 7 a.m. Um, really awesome. That's an awesome fishery, man. I mean, just such a I say diverse fishery. It's a very, very interesting ecosystem. Um, dude, like, what, how, when have you fished a river that runs right through the capital city of a major state? Not many people can say that, but in Columbia, South Carolina, you can. That river, we fished it Saturday. At this time of year, it's crazy. Those fish are starting to see so many flies, so many baits coming in front of their face. Pause. But you know, they get fished for hard all summer. Um, you know, those fish definitely see more pressure during the summer because around this time of year, it is kind of frowned upon to go up to the mountains and really fish hard for trout, especially in water temperatures up to say 70 degrees. It's a little too hot to be fishing for trout. I mean, you can go and do it if you're intending on keeping them, man, go for it. Go and catch your limit. Do a catch and cook, whatever you want. Um, but just one of those things, man. I mean, when you can't trout fish, what are you going to do? You're going to go and find another species to chase. And a lot of people will go and chase those big striper and smallmouth in the Saluda River. So those fish by this time of year just getting so beat up on that it was tough. I'll be honest with you, it was tough as nails. When I caught a schoolie right off the bat, nothing crazy to write home about, and then went like another 4 hours, moved a few fish, got them up, kind of curious looking at a fly. And then a little bit later in the day, I was throwing a Clouser minnow on an 8 weight. Um, Now, if I actually connected with this fish, it would have been a fight and a half. I would have probably been bringing a knife to a gunfight if if I did hook this fish and had to fight it. Um, it was one of those things, I tied a shitty knot. I hooked that fish, saw its head. Dude, its head was huge. I'm talking. It was a pretty big striper. Um, saw the fish come, eat the fly, and make a really hard run um, upstream. And next thing I knew, that thing pops at the knot. Tied a super crappy knot. Um, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Should I have been more prepared? Maybe took a couple extra seconds to tie a better knot? Yes. Did I? No. Did I pay for that? I did pay for that. But still just an all around good time. I mean, super super cool fishery. Um, just a really cool experience. Anytime you can go to the Saluda River and catch some striper smallmouth, dude. I mean, never turn it down. Um, we had like a really good crowd out there. We had Christian from Make Time for Fishing. Um, he had one of Christian's buddies, and then we had Pat from Highway 22 Outdoors. Just awesome time. Just bunch of cool dudes. Really good, really good fishing, and that's really it. I wish I had a better recap, but like I said a second ago, yeah, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, man. It sucks, but it's true. It's just it happens. But other than that, nothing really new. Um, we got the Rise Flies college football picks coming up. A few more weeks. Counting that down. Can't wait to get the picks rolling again. Keep track of our Rise Flies pick 'em challenge. But we might actually have to start up a pick 'em pool this year. That'd be pretty sick. I might actually have to try and do that. So be on the lookout for that. We'll start it up. I know some people had interest in the bracket challenge around college basketball, so we'll do a little pick 'em challenge for college football this year. So um, other than that, I don't have much more. Once again, big thank you to Matt for coming on. Um, and if you like this episode, just like and subscribe. Same thing, different day. Just like and subscribe if you liked it. And if you have any suggestions, give it a comment. Um, until next time, see you later.